Hello and welcome to Made with Carlenergy, episode 14. I'm Carlene and it is December 30th, 2015. And so I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas. I had a really nice time at my parents' place in New Jersey where I grew up and got to see my grandparents and my aunt and uncle, my cousins, my brother and his girlfriend, and a bunch of friends, and had a really nice time with my family, ate a lot of amazing food and lots of Christmas cookies, and got lots of nice gifts and some knitting related gifts, which I will show you a little bit later. And so I hope you all had a great time with your families and got to relax and uh, knit some Christmas Eve socks. If you cast on some Christmas Eve socks with Danny of the Little Bobbins Knits podcast. And yeah, I'm just recovering post-Christmas. And I'm sure you're all wondering, did I finish my Christmas socks? And the answer is kind of. So I'll explain a little bit about that later on. If you've been following along, you know that I was trying to make about 8 pairs of Christmas socks in less than a month. And yeah, you'll hear more about that a little bit later. And but the first thing I want to go over is the Local Love Knit Along, which I have been co-hosting with Ellen of the Idle Cat Knits podcast since October. And we extended the deadline a little bit for posting your finished objects. So that was extended from December 23rd until January 1st, 2016. So you have about one more day to post pictures of your finished objects in our threads. We both have finished object threads in our groups, so make sure you pop over there and post your photos. A lot of you already have, and it's looking really great, and I am really excited to give some prizes away. So I will be closing the thread on January 1st, and yeah, make sure you post your pictures. And thank you all so much for participating. There's been so many nice, lovely projects with really great local yarns, and I love everybody's different interpretations of the theme of the knit along, and it's been really nice as my first knit along. So thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Paul Williams, who is a friend of mine that I actually met through. A dreadlock forum about, I guess it's been about 4 years now. So about 4 years ago, I decided that I wanted to start dreading my hair and have dreadlocks. And I had never done it before, so I was researching a lot online, and I had found this website called dreadlocktruth.com. And it was full of tons of information, and it was very much like Ravelry, where there were a lot of different groups and forums and topics, and people were really friendly and engaged in posting photos of their hair and the whole process of forming dreadlocks and all of that stuff. So I had become part of this community and was posting a timeline of how my hair was looking every month, because when you start to go through the process of getting dreadlocks, it's a very long and can be a very frustrating process, because your hair really looks really messy for several months before it starts to look like dreadlocks and look like what you want. So so it's really a really great network and support system for when your hair is looking crazy and you feel like, ripping it out or cutting it off. And so it was really nice to have that network of people who were going through the same thing. And anyway, so Paul was another member on this forum, and yeah, this was the first place on the internet that I'd ever posted videos or anything like that. It was my first real internet presence in any type of forum, and I posted some videos of my progress as my hair was knotting up and forming dreads. And so Paul I had become friends with on this forum, and he lives in the UK, and he's an illustrator. He illustrates comic books and other things. So he kindly offered to draw up a little logo for me for my podcast. He's always been very supportive and helped me out with with any type of art related things that I would need. So if you may have noticed on Ravelry and on YouTube, I have a beautiful new banner image, and it features the dude, which is really cool. So so yeah, check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And thank you so much, Paul. I absolutely love it, and I'm so happy to finally have a true banner image for the podcast, and I think it looks amazing, and I'm just really excited about it. It came out really good, and all I gave Paul was like a little like really terrible sketch on a post-it note, and he worked his magic and turned it into something really great. So go and check that out if you haven't noticed it yet. And speaking of the dude, you may have noticed that you don't hear him chattering away in the background, and that is because he's not here. He's not in my apartment for the time being because next week I am dog sitting, so I will be staying at another house for a week while they are on vacation. So I had brought him home to my parents' house for Christmas and left him there to hang out with them for about just a couple weeks while I am dog sitting, just so that he's not lonely and he's being taken care of, and I don't feel bad having him at home with no one to hang out with. So I miss him. I miss him a lot. I miss coming home from work and being able to say, "Hey, dude," and just have him chattering away in the morning when I wake up and stuff. But he will be back in a little while. Hey, this is one of the mugs I got for Christmas. I think I got 3 new mugs for Christmas, which is awesome, except I'm running out of space in my cabinet. But yeah, little owl guy. I really like him. So I think that pretty much covers my administrative stuff. Oh, actually, though, I do want to give another shout out to Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Jeff is a guy I met actually on the subway back in November, and this was when I had gone down to Brooklyn to meet up with some other podcasters at Gauge Intention. And so I was on the subway I think I was on the G train, so I was almost to the stop for Gauge Intention. And it was really hot that day because it's been so unseasonably warm, so I didn't really have a jacket on or anything, and I had my sleeves rolled up. And so there was a guy, I was standing, and there was a guy sitting in a seat next to me, and I was holding on to the pole, and I could see that he had some really awesome tattoos that were all very nautical themed, and I really liked the style of them. But I didn't say anything because for some reason, I don't know. I always hesitate to compliment on other people's tattoos. I don't know why, because I really I don't mind when other people talk to me about mine, and it can be fun. It's a nice conversation starter. But for some reason, I'm always shy about bringing it up. But he also had headphones in, so I didn't know if he would hear me or not. But he noticed my horseshoe crab tattoos on my forearms, and so he pulled his headphones out and said, "Oh, those are really cool. Where did you get them?" And so yeah, we just started talking about tattoos, and then he was asking me what I was up to in Brooklyn, and I started talking about meeting up with the knitters, and somehow just ended up telling him about my podcast, and so he ended up watching my podcast, and he has learned how to knit because he got really interested in it, and he went to Brooklyn General Store, which is a yarn shop that is apparently just a couple minutes away from his apartment. So he walked to Brooklyn General one day and bought some needles and yarn, and I directed him to some YouTube videos, and now he is knitting. So that is really cool and awesome. And he says that it's harder than he thought it would be. I guess I kind of made it seem like it was this really relaxing thing, which it is. And I've tried to explain that once you get the hang of it, it is very nice and relaxing, but yeah, he's had some frustrating moments, but he's doing really well. So yeah, great job, Jeff, and I'm glad to have recruited another knitter into the community. And yeah, so that's been fun to see him learn, and yeah, keep at it. It will get relaxing eventually. uh, and yeah, so my knitting has not been relaxing lately either, because I was really trying to finish all those socks before Christmas, and so I really didn't sleep on Christmas Eve. I think I knit until 2 a.m., took a 2-hour nap, woke up at 4, wrapped some presents, knitted for a little bit longer, took another nap at like 6:30, and then got up at 8 o'clock to eat some breakfast and, you know, start unwrapping gifts with my family. And I still had, I think, 3/4 of a sock to knit when I woke up on Christmas, and that was my grandpa's pair. So I had everybody else's finished except his, and I had one of his finished. So I was like, all right, worst case scenario, I'll have to wrap up one sock and just let him know that it will be done soon. So that's what I did. I wrapped up one, and I was working away on the other one all day, and it still wasn't finished at 5:30 when everybody came over for dinner. And so we ate dinner, so obviously I wasn't knitting during dinner, and then we do dinner, and then we open presents, and then we have dessert. So all the socks were handed out at the same time, so I had them all in boxes, and I also gave everybody a little bar of nice handmade soap, not soap that I had made, but soap from a local small nice soap store. And so everybody got soap and socks, and everybody was opening in them, and my grandpa looked at his and said, oh, very nice, but I'm sorry, I can't wear these. And I was like, oh, well, why not? And so he is diabetic, and so he wears the very breathable, non-elastic socks, and so he felt that he couldn't wear mine, and that's fine. I kind of expected that. He can be a little stubborn and picky about things, so I thought that possibly he did have special socks for being diabetic, but I looked it up. I researched it right away as everybody else was opening theirs, and I found an article on Knitty.com actually from a few years ago that goes over the good properties to look for in a sock yarn and how to make socks for people with diabetes. And everything really ended up checking out. I mean, the socks that I made, they were stockinette, so they didn't have any harsh texture or anything, and they were an acrylic nylon blend, which was, good according to this article. But yeah, so I kind of tried to explain that to him, but at the same time, I knew that he probably wouldn't wear them just because in his mind he can't, because they're not specifically labeled as diabetic socks. So I ended up taking them back, and they will go to someone else because I just didn't want them to be put in a drawer and never worn. So, it's the thought that counts, I guess, in that case. But everybody else loved theirs, and everybody else has been sending me pictures of them wearing them, so no big deal. And that meant that I was off the hook for the rest of the day. I actually still haven't finished that sock. It's still in this bag. So here was the first one that was wrapped up as a gift, and then I'm almost finished. I have, I think, less than half the foot to go, but I've just gotten really lazy about finishing it. I think I broke my knit a little bit. I lost a little bit of the knitting mojo, which is probably expected considering what I put myself through to finish all those socks. I was literally bleeding by Christmas afternoon. I was getting this callus in the like the bend of this first joint, and I don't want to show you because I don't think it really shows up anymore, but it was this callus that was and it was actually cracking. As much as I would put lotion on, it kept cracking in that spot, and it eventually was bleeding and really sore, and my whole finger was swollen, and yeah, just pretty gruesome. Like, from knitting, which is insane. But I was using I've been using the Chow needles with Magic Loop, and it does they can get pretty pointy, especially with like the speed that I was trying to knit at, and yeah, so I don't think that was, I mean, I'm still going to use those needles. It was nothing against the needles or anything, but knitting that much with a fairly pointy needle, I kind of proved that you can injure yourself if you don't stop knitting for, a week straight. But yeah, so that's the basic overview of the Christmas sock gift knitting. I won't be doing that again next year. My cousin wants a hat next year, so that's one order put in already. And yeah, I think I'll stick to hats and maybe, I don't know, yeah, just scarves and smaller items next year if I make anybody anything. It was fun. It was a nice challenge for myself to try to finish all of those, but yeah, it was tiring, and now I really haven't felt like knitting this week. Yeah, I don't know if it's just that, yeah, that really took a lot out of me, or I also feel like I don't know what I want to start next, because there are a lot of projects that I want to start, but I'm not sure what to go with first, and yeah, I have all this beautiful yarn staring at me from every corner of my apartment, but and I want to use it, and I want to play with it, and I don't know, I just don't feel like it. I've been um, just more into like picking up a book or writing or just kind of anything other than knitting basically the past couple days. So yeah, I broke my knit a little bit, but I'm sure it'll come back. I did do a little bit of spinning last night. I picked up one of my drop spindles and spun for a little while, so that was nice. But yeah, I'm going to take it easy and try not to feel like I'm wasting time, because yeah, I really got myself into this crazy mood over the past few months of having to knit all the time and having to finish as many projects as possible in the shortest amount of time that I possibly could. And yeah, I kind of want to relax from that perspective a little bit, and realize that it's okay to have long-term projects, and it's okay to not finish everything within a week, and yeah, just take it easy and actually enjoy the process, and not worry so much that I'm not getting as much done as I could be. So yeah, that's that. I did start a pair of socks for the Christmas Eve cast on with Little Bobbins Knits. So Danny of Little Bobbins was hosting a Christmas Eve cast on. I think she's been doing that for the past couple years, and this is the first year that I knew about it and participated. And so I had gotten some Jinx yarn in the Gingerbread House colorway, which I was really excited about because yeah, I really liked this colorway after seeing it on the Fawn Knits podcast. And I ended up getting some of the strong sport base, so it's a little bit thicker of a base. And so I did cast these on Christmas Eve, even though I hadn't finished the socks for my grandpa, but I did want to get these on the needles on Christmas Eve. And I'm doing the Vanilla Bean pattern, which is a free pattern on Ravelry, and yeah, just it's really good for self-striping yarn because it adds just a little bit of an extra detail with some slip stitches where you change colors. And so this is all I have. I'm going to rip this out and start over because yeah, I only cast on 48 stitches on a US size 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter, I think. And yeah, I'm not used to knitting socks with sport weight, so I didn't know how many stitches I would need, and I think this is a little too small. And I also am not crazy about the fabric. I think it is a little loose for my taste, so I'm going to start these over with a few more stitches on a US 1.5, I think. But I do like how the pattern looks with the yarn. It's a little harder to tell where the slip stitches are between these two stripes, but I do like how it looks between the brown and the white. So this was nice to work on to feel in the spirit of Christmas Eve, and I do love how these colors work up together. It is a really, really pretty yarn. And I have my little gingerbread progress keeper from my homespun house kit. So yeah, I am going to restart these soon, but I'm still working on this sock with my size 1.5 needles, so I have to finish this one before I can redo this one. But yeah, like I said, I've just been like not really cared about knitting, which is a very strange feeling, it really is, but that's just how it is right now, and I'm trying to be okay with it. So yeah, that's really the only projects I have to show you. Sorry about the dog barking. It's my landlord's dog, and they're not home, so when they're not home, she likes to bark a lot. And she probably hears me talking, so she's disturbed. So that brings me to showing off some of my Christmas gifts that are yarn related. So the first thing I'll show you is this lovely little figurine that my mom gave me, and it's this little girl knitting socks, which was so appropriate for this year. So there she is knitting her socks, and it's called Knitting You a Warm and Cozy Winter. So that's what that says there. That's the name. And this is a Memories of Yesterday figurine. So yeah, nice, very cute little vintage figurine. And my mom got this, she found this at one of the estate sales that she worked at, because she works for an estate sale company. So I actually did get a lot of presents from estate sales, which is great. My mom is really good at, you know, finding things that that she can bring home for us. So it was really cool that she found a little knitting lady. From my aunt and uncle, I got this cookie jar, Snowman Cookie Jar, but he's got cables and yeah, a nice knitty pattern on him, so that was really cute. I like his little pom-pom nose. Then from my brother, I got some great things from Fringe Supply Company. I did send a hint for this. I sent my parents an email with a link to these things as a Christmas hint, and my brother ended up getting me these things. So this is a knitter's graph paper journal, because I want to try designing some things and sketching some things out, so that'll be really handy. And I also got this Fashionary notebook. So this is one of the notebooks with the little outline. I think you probably won't even be able to tell. They are really light. Yeah, you can't even really see them. But on each page is the outline of a figure, so that you can draw outfits on it, and sketches of sweaters and stuff. So that'll be really handy. yeah, Karen Templer of the Fringe Supply Company and the Fringe Association blog uses one of these to kind of sketch out her outfits and plan out different ways that she can layer the pieces in her wardrobe. And so I really like that idea, and I want to try doing that sometimes. So that'll be fun, and I really like all the reference information in this book. They give like all different examples, different shapes of garments, and measurements, patterns, so it'll be a really great reference to look at. And I got some of these great stitch markers in my stocking, so that was fun. We opened stockings last in my family, so that was a nice surprise. I got some sheepy socks, and I got a knitting calendar, and I got a book of crochet patterns. I had seen this book in Michael's a few months ago and really liked it, but then decided not to get it at the time because I was busy with all my other projects and thought that maybe I could wait until I had more time, so I asked for it for Christmas. And so this is Crochet Boutique Hats by Rachel Oglesby, and so it's 25 hat patterns, and I think I honestly love every single hat in this book. They're just really well done and really classic, and yeah, really exciting. I like this one. There's this really cool bucket hat in here that I want to try to make. This one here, out of some cotton yarn. And yeah, so really nice patterns, great looking hats, and really different. I mean, some of these, you know, something like this in crochet I haven't really seen before, so I'm really excited to get more into crochet and make some of these hats. And I have this huge ball of sugar and cream that I inherited from one of my grandmother's friends, so I'm going to try to make that bucket hat with some of this. And I have I think at least one other ball of this, so I have a lot to play with and practice with. And then I think this is one of my favorite gifts. I also had seen this online and sent my mom a link to it and said, hint hint for Christmas. This is called Lester's Dreadful Sweaters by K.G. Campbell, and it's a children's book, but it's all about Lester, who has this aunt who knits him these crazy looking sweaters, and so I had to have this book. The illustrations are absolutely fantastic, and it's a really cute story, and yeah, there's just a lot of great knitting imagery with his aunt knitting him the sweaters, so very highly recommended. I did read through it with my mom on Christmas night, and it's a really entertaining story. It's very well written too. Yeah, it's very witty and very good. So yeah, that'll be added to my children's book collection of knitting related books. I have the extra yarn book as well, which is really great. And I know there's a few others. There's a few other knitting related children's books that I've kind of seen and have wanted to get, but those are the two I have for now. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it as far as my knitting related gifts. I also got this little dish from my aunt and uncle, which I think is going to live on my coffee table as a stitch marker dish for when I'm working on things and need to have my stitch markers out. So it's really pretty, crystally on the inside. And yeah, I think that's all for today. I'm hoping to get my knitting mojo back in a little bit. I did go to my local yarn shop today and pick up some new needles because there's some projects I'm going to start soon that I didn't have the right needles for, so at least I've done that. I'm prepping for my next projects, but I just don't know what I'm going to start next. I do want to get back into spinning and try the crochet, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, I am planning on attending Vogue Knitting Live, which is, I'm going to be trying to go down to the city on the 16th, Saturday the 16th, and meet up with other podcasters. I just found out that Mina of the Knitting Expat is going to be in town again, so I'm definitely going to try to make the Vogue Knitting Live event. So I look forward to that. And yeah, don't forget to get over to my my group on Ravelry and post your projects for the local love along, and I will be drawing prizes in my next episode, which will hopefully be on not this Sunday since I'm recording now, but the Sunday, the maybe it's the 10th, something like that. Anyway, the Sunday after this coming Sunday, I will draw prizes for the local love along, and I am really excited to find out the winners. So yeah, I'm going to keep it at that. I hope you all have a very happy New Year's Eve. Please have fun, please be safe, and I hope you have some great goals for the new year, and I will see you later. Bye.